Yo, 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 what is up, my friends? I want to come on and talk about my TEDx event and debrief that with you all, and also speak to the subtle ways that fear can show up and try to subconsciously sabotage us from the life we say we desire, from the unfoldment that's happening in our life. And so, if you care about TEDx, or if you ever struggled with fear and sabotage, or um, not always having the things that you desire, this live stream is going to be helpful for you. So let's start with TEDx. What's up, Benny? What's up, Benny? And by the way, y'all, as you join, just let me know where you're tuning in. Whether that's you're here live or you're here watching this. And I see Coach Benny Salas is joining me here on Instagram, and I know others are going to begin to join here in a moment. Let's start with the TEDx event. So we just hosted our annual TEDx conference out of Metro Atlanta, TEDx Alexander Park. We hosted it at Gas South Theater. We had 10 speakers, and they all came and shared their idea worth spreading on our theme of awe and wonder, AWE and wonder. And this awe and wonder theme is Team Live. That's what's up, Marcella. Sorry, I said your name wrong. It's good to see you. Hello from Atlanta. That's beautiful. Did you make it out to our event? If so, I didn't have an opportunity to shake your hand. Coach in Florida, I see you, buddy. Um, and so, man, it was so amazing, and we knew it was going to be. I Here's what I want to say around the TEDx conference. So much happens when you just say yes. So much happens when you get in the right room with the right people in the right place with the right messages at the right time. And there's been so many times in my life where I knew I was supposed to be in a place, and man, I changed flights. I emptied, savings accounts. I asked friends for help. I carpooled. I did all of these things to ensure that I could be in alignment where I was supposed to be. What's up, Karim? What's up, Teresa? It's good to see y'all. We got Atlanta, we got Australia, we got Florida. Let me know where else you're tuning in from. And um, our conference felt like that. I'll be honest, like the attendance was not where I would like it to be. We were half full. For all the optimistic people that say, "Are you a glass half empty or glass half full?" People, you can always tell when they come out and they're like, "Is their natural thing like, okay, cool, this is awesome," or is it like, "Oh, bummer"? I'm definitely a glass half full type of person, but still, I always am looking for the edge of improvement, and so that was, I was. But here's what I said to my wife. I was like, where we lacked in the quantity of people that I desired, we made up for in quality people. I mean, there were people from Rotary and Chamber and BNI networking group and entrepreneurs and county commissioners and first responders. I mean, it was such a quality audience that, as much as the speakers are prominent and successful and kind of the stars of the show, man, the people to the left and the right in the audience were amazing. You never knew who you were bumping shoulders with. And so, man, it was so beautiful to see that whatever we did, we called in the right people to that room. And I'm so excited to capitalize on that and maximize that. Oh, he said we did a speaking event. We had 40 plus people, but the right people. Yeah, that's good, and I'm glad, and that's awesome, And I always have taught my speakers to be thermostats, not thermometers. So many times we, cater our level of excellence to that in the room. It's like, oh, there's only 40 people here, so I'll just kind of like shoot the breeze. Versus, like, I'm gonna treat these 40 people like they're 40,000 people, and by doing so, we don't even recognize that there's only 40 among us because it feels much bigger than what it is because of how we're showing up. We set the temperature, we didn't respond to it. There's one thing that I feel like I do pretty well. It's that in this industry. I set the tone. I don't respond to it. I don't come in and be like, you know what, they're not interactive, they're not engaging, they don't want to be here, they don't want to be learned. I believe that's the part of the speaker's responsibility, is to make them want to learn, is to help them to tap into their desire to transform their lives. Now, I love it when people come ready and there's an opening, because we can always do more work faster. But as speakers, we have to have tools in our arsenal to get people to open up and have expectation and hope and belief to change their lives, because that is how we create behavioral change. So, man, it was beautiful to see that. And by the way, everybody did a phenomenal job. Nobody, turned into a thermometer. Everyone stayed in setting the temperature and creating the atmosphere and remembering why we're doing this, because we're sowing seeds that we know are going to impact the world. So it was just phenomenal, man. And here's what I'll say. Couple of things. Number one, if you've been following this and you're local to that community and you're like, man, I really want to tap in with what y'all are doing there, man, join the team, get involved, stay connected, man. It's a really beautiful thing what we're able to build. We do have to reapply for our license every year. Uh, but I don't see any reason why we wouldn't get it. We're getting better. So if they gave it to us in year one, I don't know why they wouldn't renew it unless we did something immoral or something like that. Um, and so, man, we're building a team, we're building a movement within that local Metro Atlanta community. And man, join it, join us, man. We'd love to explore partnering with you. Um, for the people that are so interested in speaking on our stage, our applications are always open all year around. We're definitely not reviewing them right now. We're in post production of this current TEDx event. But if you go to TEDxAlexanderPark.com, right on, I believe, the Connect tab, there's an opportunity for you to submit your idea. We're spreading. We're always looking for bright, brilliant ideas. We always say a new idea or a fresh take on an old idea. That's kind of language within TED culture, and it helps us. I learned that when I went to the TED conference. I was like, that's so helpful as an organizer to be able to sift through these hundreds and hundreds of ideas. Um, so, by all means, when we're going to announce the theme and the dates and all that stuff, we're working on that. We got to reapply for our license. That process takes a little bit of time. So I would say, tap in with us in a couple months, 2, 3 months from now, see where we're at, and then you'll have more details in terms of, next event and the theme and all that stuff. Okay. Let's talk about this subconscious thing of fear, because I think that has more application to the majority of people that are going to watch this live in the replay. Um, Prior to the TEDx conference, okay, here's one of the messages that I shared, y'all. Okay, so I did a talk on the theme of awe and wonder, and I shared with the audience how it was challenging for me to speak on that theme because of the realm, REALM, in which I speak, the realm from which I speak. There's three realms that speakers can speak from. Realm number one is the realm of what they know, it's the realm of knowledge. Realm number two is the realm of what they do, it's the realm of action. Realm number three is the realm of who they are, it's their essence, it's their spiritualness. In order to grow in teaching what we know, we have to accumulate more knowledge, read the next book, listen to the next podcast, watch the next speech, distill that information into something that's helpful. In order for us to grow in our impact and our ability to make change in the realm of doing, we have to do more sweat equity. Got to implement this, got to try this, got to try for myself here, da 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 da. When we preach in the realm, when we preach, teach, share, speak in the realm of who we are, it, in order to make a bigger impact, it requires our evolution, which means that there's a version of ourselves that has to fade into the background as the new version of ourselves emerges, because of the congruency of that which we're teaching in our own life causes an evolution of that practice in our lives. So when it came to on wonder, I know that and let me tell you this, let me say this, because most speakers, and I'll say about 80% of speakers that I know teach in that realm of knowledge, because it's safe, because it's easy for me to tell you what to do. Because now I don't have to necessarily hold myself to that same accountability. So most people are comfortable with teaching what they know. the realm of teaching what we do is more challenging because the moment a speaker starts to teach what they do, their life comes under a magnifying glass or a microscope. And now they have to handle the pressure of public expectation of them from other people to be better than other people. It's like we hold speakers and influencers to a higher standard than we hold ourselves to. And so this is where the decisions that we make, the places that we go, the things that we say, this is how we can get canceled overnight. And it's a scary place to be when we teach in the realm of what we do because our life comes underneath that microscope. And that's why a lot of speakers don't do it because they're like, I don't want to be looked at. I don't want people in my business like that. I don't want to have that pressure on me. And when we teach in the realm of who we are, it requires us to be in a divine alignment. And man, that's challenging. And so for me, when I decided to teach in the realm of who I was, when it related to the awe and wonder theme, I had to go consistently implement a practice of awe and wonder in my life enough to where I had real information to share that was birthed from my personal practice, not solely from a book I read, and not only from the actions that I take, but from what I'm learning and how I'm evolving into the unfoldment of that message. Oh, I know it's a hard thing to explain, but once you're in it, so think of it this way. Uh, there's a part of learning how to ride a bike where you just got to know how to ride a bike. Then you have to do it consistently enough. Then you do it consistently enough to now you don't have to think about doing it. It's like implementing awe and wonder enough in my life to now it becomes a part of who I am and not just what I'm doing. Is what I was attempting to do prior to the event, but I had so much struggle with it. I couldn't slow down. I kept being in worry. I kept thinking about all the things that needed to happen for the event. And I tried to go through these extreme means in order to align to this message, and it was not working out. And I was getting so frustrated because I wanted to come with all this secret sauce of awe and wonder in my life. And man, it wasn't until a few days before the event that, I was like, I see what the problem is. I'm trying to speak beyond where I'm actually at. And here's the truth. And here's what I ended up telling people that day is that I shared with them 3 reasons why I struggled with awe and wonder. Because the truth of the matter is that it wasn't something that became a part of who I am. Awe and wonder right now is still something that I'm learning. And in the process of my own becoming, I recognized that there was 3 reasons why I personally was not in more consistent awe and wonder. And I shared that message with the audience. You'd have to ask them how it went, and you got to wait to hear the full talk. I was going to do it now, but I like the cliffhanger. What I want you to know is this: is because I had so much conflict with the congruency of that message in my own life, I almost canceled the conference because I didn't want to get up there in front of people and try to talk about awe and wonder and all these speakers that are talking about it when I was incongruent in my own life with my willingness, with my ability to be in consistent awe and wonder. And it was such a noble narrative, right? Like I don't want to preach what I'm not practicing or whatever. And it was just like, man, but when I look deeper into that behavior and the belief system that's driving it, what I noticed is that it was really all this fear about the awe and wonder that was unfolding in my life. One of the things uh, that I shared in the talk, my mother came out to support me. And I shared a story around how we came from, my mom had me when she was a senior in high school. My dad was a freshman in college. My mom had to essentially drop out of college because she had to take care of me and my sisters. Whew. And she's sitting there in the front row and it hit me. And I broke down and I cried on stage because in that moment, I recognized that everything my mom did to sacrifice so that me and my sisters could have a better life, she was sitting front row to the results of her sacrifice. And I said, Mom, we made it. It was worth it. It was worth it. And my mother, after the talk, she said to me privately, she said, son, your theme, I'm in awe of you and who you have become. I tell you why that means so much. Because there was a period, y'all, where my life started to head in the direction I don't think any of us knew. One of the hardest things I ever had to do to follow my calling was to move from Michigan to Atlanta and move my kids away from their grandparents. I never in a million lifetimes would have thought that God would have called me to be in a situation where my children can't see their grandma or their grandpa or their great grandma or their aunties and uncles and my family whenever, at a moment's notice because of the distance in which God has called us to, be apart. And that was hard for us. And sometimes your calling requires you to make decisions that are hard like that. I remember my pastor used to say, never let comfort, convenient, or cash keep you from your calling. And it's so true because so many times we say no to things that we should say yes to because it's not enough cash, it's not in our comfort zone. And what did I say? Comfort, cash, and convenience. And it's not convenient. And I almost allowed that fear to rob me of that moment with my mom, the fear to rob me of all the greatness of the conference, and the fear to rob what would happen when these talks hit the mainstream on the TED platform. And I'm so grateful that I had accountability partners, that I had enough practice to move through that. I'm so grateful that I was in a position to move through it because of the support I had, because of the practices that I have in my daily life to to do my best to make sure I don't sabotage what's unfolding in my life. So I don't know where you're at. I know that I see Tina's here, AK's here, Tanya's here, Jeff is here, Dr. Matisse is here, Robin Nathaniel, who was a speaker at our conference this year, is here. And here's what I want to share with you. Pay close attention to what you're saying yes and what you say no to. Be sure that your no's aren't subconscious sabotages to the unfoldment that's happening in your life. Ask yourself challenging questions. Get a person or multiple people in your life who will love you enough to tell you when your breath stink, who will love you enough to tell you when you're not cracking it, who will love you enough to tell you when you're sabotaging, who will love you enough to tell you when you're in too much pride or ego. Get people in your life who will do that for you. Robin's here, and I remember he, came and he shared his first initial concept with his talk, and he was so passionate about it. He's like, man, I want to do this. I got this idea. Oh my God, you have to buy. I've been thinking about it, man. Here's how I'm gonna da 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 da. And I remember being like, damn, I'm gonna have to tell him. Oh, snaps. Let me ask you a question, Robin. What else is in there? Like, and man, he listened so well and he made a pivot. And man, that pivot from what he intended to what he delivered is probably one of the most powerful pivots that he's made in his life because it put him in alignment to a message that was looking to bring healing and transformation in his own life so that he could lead others through that same healing and transformation. I can't tell you the number of people who left the event and said, I'm going to live life like it's my last words. So I'm excited, y'all. Don't allow fear to sabotage you of the unfoldment that's happening in your life, and tap into what we're doing here in our community in TEDx. All right. I love y'all. They're starting to make annoying noises now, so that's my cue to go. Um, Share this with anyone who you know would be helpful to. Let me know what your takeaways is from it. Reach out if there's anything that I can do to support you in your journey. And y'all, to everyone who was a part of making the conference happen, you have my deepest gratitude, and I'm still soaking it all in. All right. I love you. I'll see y'all later today or tomorrow. Peace.